time for the third assignment in this course. In this module, we have been exploring user authentication in a lot of detail. Now, in this assignment, we will work further on user authentication. We will add yet another category of accounts called as an admin. An admin account is a super account that has a lot of privileges of performing various operations. An ordinary user account can only perform certain operations on our server. Similarly, an unregistered request coming in from a client that is not logged in can only perform certain operations on our server. Now, we're going to modify our server such that GET operations can be performed by anyone. You don't need to log into the system to perform GET operations on the various REST API endpoints except submission of comments. For the remaining operations on the REST API endpoints, the post, put, and delete operations, these will be restricted to be performed only by admin users. An ordinary user cannot perform these operations. Obviously, you don't want an ordinary user to be submitting new dishes or promotions or leader information or modifying existing information or even deleting these existing information. This should be the privilege of only the system administrator for our server. Also, we will ensure that an ordinary user can post comments about specific dishes. That is acceptable. Similarly, an ordinary user can update and delete comments that he or she has posted. Other users or even the admin cannot update or delete comments posted by another user. So this is another restriction that we're going to place in our server. Now, let's go ahead and examine how we're going to be going about implementing this and how exactly our server does these operations. First and foremost, I will illustrate to you how you would create an admin account in your system. You would realize that we have to go behind the scenes to create an admin account simply because we don't want an admin account to be created by performing the sign-up operation on our users/signup account. This will leave our server vulnerable to attacks. So an admin account can only be set up behind the scenes by directly accessing the database. So let's look at how we go about doing this in the illustration that I'm going to show you right after. Now, to examine our database, let me start the Mongo REPL at the command prompt and then go to the confusion folder, and then let me examine the users that are registered in my database at this moment. So you can see that I have just one user registered. So let me set up two additional accounts, one for an ordinary user and one which is going to be an admin. So we will sign up the admin and the second user also from our sign up point. Thereafter, we will come back to the Mongo REPL and then set up the admin account explicitly by modifying the record in our database. Going to Postman, let me sign up two additional users. So we had earlier signed up one user with this name. So I'm going to sign up another user into my system. And so a second user is now registered successfully. Now, let me also register an admin account. So for the admin account, I will set up the username as admin and then sign up an admin user. So we see that we have now added two new accounts to our system. Going to the Mongo REPL, let me again repeat the DB users find, and let me do a pretty so that it looks more easier to read. And so when I do this, you can see that we have an admin account here with the username as an admin. Ignore the first name and last name. I've set up this first name and last name to be the same for all the three. Then we have the other user account that I have set up with the username here, and the third user account that we already had in our database. So now we have 3 user accounts, 2 user accounts here and an admin account. Now, of course, you see that in the user accounts, we have this flag called as the admin flag, which is set to false for any account that is signed up on the /users/signup endpoint. That is the default way that you should set up accounts. You cannot allow a user to configure an admin account by doing anything directly on the REST API endpoint. Instead, we will go behind the scenes, and then in the Mongo REPL, I'm going to modify this record for the admin user by saying db users update, and then we'll supply the username as admin here. So we're going to be updating this record, and then we'll say $set. Recall how we were manipulating the MongoDB. So we'll say $set admin true. So what we are doing here is that we are searching for this user account with the username admin, and then we are setting up the admin flag to true here by using the $set option. So this is how we would update an account to be an admin account. And so you see that this has modified the results. So let's again check the accounts. So now when you check the account, you see that for the admin account, the admin flag is now set to true. So that is how you would end up creating an admin account. Now, the admin account, as we would expect, has additional privileges. So once you complete this assignment, then you would notice that the get operation can be performed by any user on the /dishes /the specific dish endpoint /promotions and the /promotions /specific promotion endpoint, and similarly for the leaders endpoints also. But the post, put, and delete operations on these endpoints can only be performed by admin users. Now, in addition, the comments endpoint, we would allow only a registered user who has logged in to access comments on the for a specific dish. We will allow a logged in user to post comments. We have already set this up in the exercise. So when the user posts the comment, we have ensured that we verify the authenticity of the user, and then when the comment is posted, we have set up the author ID for the comment using the user ID. So we have already completed that. But now, in addition, for the put and the delete operations on comments, only the user that has submitted the specific comment will be allowed to do put and delete operations on his or her own comments. Any other user cannot modify somebody else's comments. Similarly, even the admin cannot modify somebody else's comments or delete somebody else's comments. So that's the second part of this assignment that you're going to be doing. And the third part is that an admin can query the /users endpoint and ask for the list of registered users. No other ordinary user can do this query. So this is the other restriction that we're going to put in there. Now, in order to verify that a user is an admin, we will first verify that the user is a registered user. So the verify user function that we have already implemented in the authenticate.js should be applied even where you need to check for the admin. First, you check that it is a verified user. Thereafter, you will introduce another function called verify admin in the authenticate.js file, which will check to ensure that the user is an admin. Now, to check whether a user is an admin, all that you need to do is to check the rec.user that is on the request object, the rec.user there. Check to see whether the admin flag is true or not. If the admin flag is true, you will allow the normal process of proceeding further to the middleware to happen. If the user is not an admin, you will generate an error and send back an error message back to the client side. So that's how we're going to be handling the admin user's account. Now, when a user is trying to modify or delete his or her own comments, we have to check to make sure that the author of the comment is the same as the user that is trying to modify the comment. Now, the rec.user also has the ID field, so you need to cross-check that with the author field of the comment. If these two match, then you will allow the user to perform the put or delete operations. If they don't match, then you will not permit the put or the delete operations on that specific comment. So this is the other aspect that you're going to be implementing as part of your third assignment. Let's look at how all these things work by using Postman to perform various operations on our server. Going back to Postman, let me first perform a get operation on dishes to just check to see what is in my database. So if I perform a get operation on the dishes, notice that I am not putting any authentication into the header. Get operation is allowed by anybody. So when I perform the get operation, I can see that I already have one dish with a comment already in place in that dish. This comment was posted by this user already. So we already have one dish in the system there. So this is perfectly fine. I am going to delete that dish. Now, to delete the dish, obviously that operation cannot be performed by an ordinary user. So let me log in so you can see that I am logging in as a regular user. So let me log in as a regular user. So when I log in, I will get the token. So I'm going to copy this token and save it. Now that I have my token, let me perform a delete operation on the dishes. So when I go to the delete operation, so let me select this get and then do a delete operation on the dishes. And in the header, let me include the authorization here. And you would notice that when we paste in the request and then send the delete authorization, you would notice that it immediately comes back with this message here. As you can see in the preview, it says you are not authorized to perform this operation. And then the error code is 403, forbidden. So this is a message that is generated by the verify admin function that you're going to be implementing as part of this exercise. So if the user is not an admin, then this is the message that your verify admin will generate, and it will not allow the request to go beyond that point. So you can see that I have closed off the delete operation. Now, how do you do this? In your code, you have seen that in order to apply the verify user, we said authenticate.verify user in the post, put, and delete operations. Now, you can chain the middleware one after another. So we can say authenticate.verify user, comma, and then following that, you can say authenticate.verify admin to apply the verify admin right after the verify user. So if you want a operation to be restricted only to the admin, you first do the verify user part, and then immediately following that, you apply the verify admin middleware right after that. So if these two checks successfully pass through, then you will go on to perform the operation. If the verify admin check fails, you will return this error message as you see here, and then abort the operation at that point. So you will return a next error from your verify admin if the user is not an admin. So I have demonstrated to you how you're going to be using the admin user's account to restrict operations for the put, post, and delete operations. Same thing, post and put operations will also not be permitted on any of these endpoints. Now, let me demonstrate the other aspect here. So you saw that when we performed the get operation, you saw that there was already a comment that was posted by the username Jogesh, the first user that is in my system. Now I'm going to log in as the other user. So I will log in as into my second account, which is Bhupala. And then when I log in, I again get the token. So let me take this token here. Let me copy this token. Now, what I'm going to do is I will do a get on the localhost dishes. So let me do a get on the localhost dishes to show you the specific comment inside here. So this particular comment with this ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the dish ID. I'm also going to copy the comment ID from here, and I'm going to perform a delete operation on this specific dish, and recall that we have the slash comments slash and then this particular comment ID. Now remember that this comment was posted by this username, but I have now logged in myself as the other user with a different username. So when I now perform the delete operation using the other account, you would immediately notice that in here it says you are not authorized to delete this comment, and then it says 403. Same thing. If you try to do a put operation on that specific comment logged in as another user, it'll say you are not authorized to update this comment. So both delete and update of somebody else's comment is not permitted. So now let me log in as the admin at this point, and then let me try to delete that particular comment, and you would see that the same message will be generated. So an admin also cannot delete or update somebody else's comments. So to log in as an admin, let me go into the post here, and then let me log in as an admin. Now remember that these tokens will be valid for 3,600 seconds. So you can save these 3 tokens that you generate for the 3 users. So you don't need to keep logging in as that particular user. As long as you use the right token in the header, your operations will perform just fine, identifying the 3 different users. So let me log in as the admin here. So when I log in as the admin, I get the token here. So I'm going to copy and save this token. Just remember which token belongs to who when you make a copy of these. Now, going back to this delete comment operation, I'm going to go into the header, and then I'm going to change this to the token for the admin, and then try to perform the same delete operation. And then you see that even the admin is not authorized to delete the comment posted by another user. This is perfectly acceptable. But let's try to delete the same comment by the user that created that comment, and you would see that that can be successfully done. So let's perform that operation. So to do that, I'm going to go back and fetch the token that I have got for the first user, and then change the authorization field here. So now for this delete operation, I'm going to change this to bearer, and then this is the token for the first user with the username Jogesh. So when I try to delete that comment, you will notice that the comment is now deleted successfully. So as you can see from the steps, the comment can be only deleted by the user that created that comment. Now, the next step, when we do the delete operation on the dishes, we saw earlier that if we did the delete operation as an ordinary user, you get the message saying you are not authorized to perform this operation. So I'm going to change this token to the token of the admin and then show you that an admin can perform the delete operation on the dishes endpoint. So going into this request, let me change the token to be the token for the admin user. And so when I perform the delete operation as the admin user, you would notice that the delete operation is successful and then replies back with the message here. So now when I do a get on the dishes endpoint, you will notice that the get operation shows that my dishes have been emptied. Now, the other operation that you will also implement in this assignment is that we can do a get operation on the /users endpoint. So when you do a get operation on the /users endpoint, you would notice that if you are not an authorized user, it'll say you are not authorized to perform this operation. So the localhost :3000/users/endpoint, we are now going to be allowing this to be performed only by the admin. So if an ordinary user, if you log in as an ordinary user with the header, you will not be allowed to perform this operation. Now, let me change this token to the token of the admin, and then you will see that the admin will be allowed to perform this operation. So going to the get, let me change this token to the token for the admin user. And then when I perform the get operation on that, it returns, as you can see, the 3 users that are registered in my system. It shows the user number 1, user number 2, and user number 3. And of course, notice that the hash and salt are removed when the message is returned by the server side to the client side. So the hash and salt information will be never revealed outside. So Mongoose will automatically take care of filtering out that information before it sends back the user's information. Because you should not be revealing the hash and salt information to the outside world. So this is the 3 user accounts information that is returned. So this is returned only if you perform the get operation on the /users endpoint as the admin user. If you perform the same request as any other user, this will not be permitted. So again, you will check first verify user and then check the verify admin. And only if it is an admin, then this operation can be performed on this endpoint. So these are all the various tasks that you will do as part of this assignment. The details of how these need to be done are documented in the assignment instructions. So read through the instructions before you proceed to complete the third assignment. Have fun completing the third assignment.